Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome to Shared Screens Media Club, our very special holiday episode for Media Club. Today is not going to be a review or a discussion. It's going to be another question that we've been doing recently on Media Club. Now that we're in a Marvel lull, joining me today is Alec Bobko.
Hello.
And Leanne Jass.
Hi.
And today's question is very simple, guys. What are our go-to or favorite Christmas movies? And I'll even throw in Christmas specials, whether it be for like TV shows or other things that have done Christmas specials before. Just like, what do you like to watch or even listen to around Christmas time? Like, what Christmas stuff do you love?
Well, one of our go-tos, and I think I even talked about this last year in our holiday special, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's been a tradition at our house, like even since my sister and I were little kids. My parents would spend Christmas Eve. They would stay up, and wrap Christmas gifts while watching Christmas Vacation. But as we got older, since we were staying up later, we'd go to midnight mass as a family, and we would actually just stay up and just watch that as a family. So it's kind of become a family tradition at this point.
Nice. I've never seen. I think I've seen parts of Christmas Vacation, but like I feel like with Christmas
so
movies,
good.
it's
so
either
good.
they're part of your family's like repertoire or they're not. There's like very
Right,
rare in betweens.
Oh, yeah, this is what I was going to say. Is Jordan and I had this conversation earlier where Jordan is first generation in this country, so there are things he missed out on because his parents like don't know about it.
Yeah.
And then for me, I've never seen National Lampoon's Vacation because my mother has a very similar sense of humor to me where it's a 50-50 shot on whether or not she's going to find something like that funny, and both of my parents don't think it's funny. So like
Gotcha.
we've never seen it because it's just not. My dad likes British humor.
He
does not like
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. They don't jive. They just do not. Grandma can't jive. Sorry, every time I say jive, that pops into my head. That like entire story lives rent free in my brain. But yeah, so we've just never seen it. But what I'm gonna float out to Alec was when Jordan said to me this morning over the phone he was gonna ask about Christmas specials. I immediately went, Ted Lasso Christmas special.
Yes.
Ted Lasso Christmas special is so good.
Oh my gosh. I rewatched season 2 recently, and that episode just lives rent free in my head. Like that intro with the claymations. Oh,
I know, it's
so
so
good.
cute. The only Christmas music I've listened to so far is there's a video on YouTube of Hannah Waddingham rehearsing singing Baby Please Come Home in the bar set before they went out to film it in front of the house.
Okay.
And I listen to it all the time because I'm just obsessed with her. Like, I need her to release a Christmas album. Like, I know,
Yeah.
Hannah, I know you haven't recorded in multiple years, but like, please just give me a Christmas album.
I would have thought they
Please.
would have just released that as like a single on its own.
That too, anything. Just
It's an
leave
Apple
the
show,
recording on the table. Yeah, just
Yeah.
leave it on the table and walk away, guys. It's fine.
That and the other song that was like earlier in the episode. I really like that with the
Yeah.
little band there.
Yeah.
The little dude beatbox in there. That was good.
I love them. I love Ted Lasso. I can't wait.
For my family, the go-to Christmas movies for the longest time are Home Alone 1 and 2. Those are such classics to me that like
Yes.
I adore those movies. I will happily
same.
watch. Not only will I happily like get cozy on the couch and watch them every year, I will laugh at the violent parts as if they are brand new
Oh, yeah.
comedy to me. I know it's happening every time, and I just there's something fun about those movies about just rewatching the slapstick aspect of it. And like I the score to those movies are on my Christmas playlist. Like those are that music is genuinely Christmas time for me, and like me and my family love to quote them and stuff like that. And like those have I think the ones that like have been with my family the longest. My youngest sister when she was younger liked Elf, and so that one caught on. I
Oh,
like
I love
Elf.
that
I
one.
think it's fine.
Yeah.
I will also happily watch it every year, but I don't think it is like the peak Christmas movie that the internet likes to make it to be.
Yep.
I think it's fine. It's cute. Good for Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
enjoyed it
introduce
for a while, but yeah, it's not as much my favorite now as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I just think it's overrated.
So I've only ever seen the first 30 minutes of Elf. And the only reason I've seen the first 30 minutes of Elf was I told my high school U.S. history teacher weeks before Christmas that I had never seen Elf. He yelled at me for 5 minutes, and then 2 days before our Christmas break, rather than teach us, he forced us to watch Elf. But I got sick and didn't see the other half, and like,
Oh.
it's my favorite thing. He was so mad at me, and like, he was like, I brought it in because you have never seen it. Like, I'm physically forcing you to watch this movie. I was like, I don't want to.
What's funny is this isn't even like the weirdest story you've told me about your history teacher in high school.
I think the weirdest is when I accidentally punched him in the stomach and he had to leave the classroom. He was walking behind my chair. I reached behind me to grab my sweatshirt and didn't realize he was there and just full on punched him in the gut.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I felt so bad. No, my history teacher, that was one of those situations. Don't let 28-year-olds teach 17-year-olds. We're not far enough apart in age.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
And to be
work.
clear, it wasn't anything inappropriate, but it was just like,
We
there
would get in
were-
fights about Elf.
yeah, there weren't boundaries like that teacher-student boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, because they
It's
were
like-
all,
Teacher's aid or whatever they're called, age.
yeah.
Why I would always like when I used to teach camp in the summer, like not try to deal with the teenagers because I'm like half of them know me, like they're not gonna take me seriously.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're not going to listen to you.
My middle sister right now is thinking about like subbing at our high school just to make like some extra money on a few days when she's off. And my mom was trying to tell me to do that at points, and I was like, I'm not doing it until all three of my sisters are out of there because like if I walk in as Mr. Deeb and people are like, "Are you her brother?" I'll be like, "Okay, all the respect is gone."
This is what we used to do to him. His brother was in school with us. Like, his little brother was a senior when I was a freshman. And so, like, none of the seniors took him seriously because they're like, F off. Like,
Well, no, that's the other thing is my sister would be like, "Oh my God, the gym teacher is so funny, haha, Mr. So and So," and like I knew Mr. So and So because he was a grade above me at the same high school, and she was like, "He's the best teacher," and I was like, "You mean fucking Josh?" Like when she said Mr. whatever his last name is, I'm not gonna dox this kid. I was like, "Fucking Josh," and then once I said that to her, I heard the way she talked on the rest of the year. The respect was not there.
yeah. Like, I don't know. But yeah.
Going back to Home Alone, I will say right here, right now, Home Alone 2 better than Home Alone 1.
I don't necessarily think one's better than the other. First two are S tier.
Oh, I
Ignore
care
the
nothing
rest.
about past 3 or past
three-
2. Past 2.
Yeah, 3 was dumb because it wasn't about Kevin, and then 4 was supposed to be like Kevin, but it was. I watched the one as a child and was like, this is kind of cool, and then like after like 3 years, I was like, this one's fucking sucks. Give me the original 2.
No, it's just the 2.
Love.
That's it.
I feel like the general consensus is the second one is better than the first one. Like, builds on it in every way, and like,
I don't
What's
know, I
funny
just feel
is,
like 1 just has that nostalgia behind it.
yeah.
you know what's funny about 2 is,
Comment, because I've never seen that.
Liren, you've never seen them, and you also don't like the movies I'm about to compare them to. But hear me out. Everyone likes that 22 Jump Street is very meta about the fact that it is the exact same movie as the first one, and the movie makes literal jokes
yeah.
about it. And in the first one, they make jokes about being a reboot. Home Alone 2 kind of does the same thing where the kind of whole vibe is, how the hell did this happen again with like the same people? And my favorite joke in Home Alone 2 is like when they report him missing and they don't know that he's in New York, and the cop in Florida is asking like, has this type of thing ever happened before? And they admit, they're like, you know what? Funny enough, like we left him behind last year. And the cop kind of looks at them and the dad goes, knock on wood, we never lose our luggage. And that gets me every time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Clear? I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't think you would like what makes Home Alone 2 funny, but I think you would like the like other 10% of the movie.
Yeah, and like, it's one of those things that it's truly, again, this is just, I've talked about my parents a lot on the show and on our shows, and I'm just gonna give like a little more insight into my family, I guess. My parents, like, what I grew up with as Christmas movies are all those old claymation movies. They are my
Yes!
favorite things on the
Yes,
planet.
same.
Like, it's
Santa
A Year
Claus
Without a
Coming
Santa
to
Claus.
Town.
Santa Claus Coming to Town is great. A Year Without a Santa Claus is my favorite because I like Heat Miser and
Yeah.
that I like that whole thing. Santa Claus Coming to Town is phenomenal. Rudolph is great. I was afraid
those
of
are
the
on my list.
cartoon Frosty just because
Mhm.
still hold this opinion. If I put a hat on a snowman and it came to life, I would like knock its head off with a shovel. Like that's not
Did you
okay.
see
okay.
that tweet yesterday?
What?
That was an exact tweet yesterday. I'm not even like.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Someone
but...
said the phrase, "If I put a hat on a snowman and it came to life, I'd hit it with a
Oh,
shovel."
jeez.
Like, I don't know. It's
I mean, that's why I
scary.
never
And then
liked
they're in the
Jack
greenhouse and
Frost.
he's melting. Yeah.
Those ones, like, yeah.
They're
So,
great.
cheers
And
to
then
anyone drinking for the holidays.
I just have coffee
Cheers.
because it's 1
That's
p.m.
fine.
here, but
I've got mead.
Jameson and ginger ale. My
Yeah.
go-to.
Always a classic.
And then like the animated Grinch movie from the 60s
Yeah.
was like one of my mom's favorites. My mom also liked Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey. I did not like Nestor.
I've
It's sad as
never
hell.
heard of that one.
Never heard
It's
of it.
a-
I've heard of Dominic the Italian donkey.
That's
heard
the
of that
song that I didn't learn
It is.
until I was drunk in a bar, like with you, a
No,
few days
I-
before Christmas, and I was like, "What is everybody?" It's like when Nick is talking about when he heard Old Town Road for the first time in a club, and everybody knew the song except him. I'm standing in the middle of the Mahoney's dance floor. Everyone around me knows what is happening and is singing along, and I'm just like, "What is going on?"
I think what happened is I mentioned that song to you, and you're like, "Are you making this up? Like, are you fucking with me?" And then like the next week, it played at the bar, and I was like, "You see,
You see?
it's real."
Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey is a claymation Christmas movie about a donkey in the Middle East somewhere, whose mother is killed when people. I'm realizing now this movie is kind of racist.
Keep going.
Because-
I'm interested.
Like, if I remember correctly, it's that he's born on a farm, and then people come and like burn the farm to the ground, a la like Star Wars. And it's got like the Dumbo elephant, where the full name is Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. He has very long ears, and my mom used to do this all the time with my hair because I was one of those kids where I like constantly took my hair out when my mom would braid it and would get in things. But the mom constantly goes, "Ears, Nestor, ears," because he would like trip over his ears and shit. And then he's a Catholic in the Roman Empire, and it's all about. I'm realizing now this movie is kind of racist. Sorry, I haven't watched it in years.
You're good.
And, like,
I love realizing that on air.
and then it kind of shifts into like the Little Drummer Boy claymation movie where Nestor gets sold into slavery and he's like abused and all of this shit, and then he gets bought by a nice little innkeeper, and then he's the donkey at Jesus's birth.
Ah.
Like that's the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Now,
Because
is
there
this a
are
whole series where like every animal gets their origin story as to how they ended up at the birth of our Lord and Savior?
no, but honestly, kind of cute. That's kind of a cute idea. Like I
The-
get why the
the
people
JA
making this were like.
The JACU, the Jesus Animal Cinematic Universe.
I'm just like, I don't know, like I get it. It's one of those things where I'm like, I get how you got here, that this was like a cute children's thing. Same with the Little Drummer Boy. The Little Drummer Boy is sad as hell, and then at the end he's with the shepherds at the birth of Jesus, and it's like cute and whatever. I get how like they got there. I'm just realizing because they were made in the 70s, they're pretty racist. But
It's like it's a
Yeah,
small
all
world.
those
Like you guys
claymations.
had the right intentions, but over time, this is a kind of racist.
yeah, you
Mhm.
you had the spirit. You just, you know. Eh,
He's a little
eh.
confused, but he's got the spirit.
But yeah, those are all my favorite. Like 25 Days of Christmas always used to play all of these, and it was like
yeah.
my shit. It was like, ooh, I love all of those movies. And then this is the one that I'm the odd one out. I would say my favorite live action is Love Actually. That is the one that no matter what, every Christmas I sit down and watch Love Actually. If it's not on something, I own the DVD. Like that is my Christmas movie.
You
I
showed it to
love that
me for
movie
the
so
first
much.
time a couple of years ago, and I did genuinely love it, and I think it will become part of the regular rotation. Like
It's
it is
so
it is
fun.
a solid movie.
Yeah. It's not, it's not King Lear, but like it's just a fun Christmas movie. Like,
King Lear
I
good because
don't-
that sounds boring as shit. I'm gonna be honest.
what?
Is King Lear even good? Because that sounds boring
Yeah,
as shit.
King Lear's it's one of the brutal ones. King Lear murders 3 of his daughters, and like I think Lear isn't the one where the daughter gets raped and then her tongue cut out and her hands cut off. I think that's Titus Andronicus, but Lear has similar energy. It's the ones where a lot of people are like, we're not sure if Shakespeare wrote these because they are violent. Like,
Mhm.
Maybe
in
that's
a
how he
way
expressed
that
his
nothing
rage.
else is. But yeah, Love Actually is the shit. They tried to like recapture the magic when I was in high school, and they made those shitty movies, New Year's Eve and Valentine's
Oh, yeah.
Day.
Yep.
But those do not capture the fantastic energy of it's so bananas and it's such a 2000 movie in like,
The
oh, it's a
cast.
great, I highly recommend it.
Mhm.
Everybody watch it. It's a trip.
Here's the thing. I never saw Valentine's Day or New Year's Eve, but I remember at one point really wanting to see Valentine's Day. And then when I saw Love Actually, I was like, I really like this structure. And then he told me that none of the ones that have tried to do it did it as well. And I'm mad. I would have loved if there were like multiple of these.
Yeah, it's so
Which one did you
fun.
say came the closest?
I thought New Year's Eve was better than Valentine's Day. But it didn't, and I don't know if it's because there is a benefit of watching Valentine's Day as somebody that's like our age is like I have warm fuzzy feelings to a lot of the actors in it. Like Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson are married, and like I have a deep attachment to them because I really liked Harry Potter growing up, and like Liam Neeson is in it, and at the time that I saw Love Actually for the first time, I was obsessed with Taken. It was one of, honestly, kind of still is one of my favorite action movies. I'm not even joking. I pretend. Like, I actually legitimately like Taken 1 and 2. After that, it gets a little shitty, but like the first two are not bad. My dad and I used to watch them on TNT every Father's Day for like 10
It's
years
a
in a
really
row.
weird
Like,
Father's
it
Day
was our
tradition for
tradition.
both TNT and you and your father. Like,
Yes.
I don't know why TNT went, I don't know what I'm playing on Father's Day.
It was
The old
for
man who like
Father's
goes
Day.
to, yeah, get his daughter.
Yeah, from a sex trafficking ring. Like, we would go out to lunch with my grandma. My grandma would leave. My father and I would sit in the living room and watch Taken on TNT. Um, but yeah, it's just, I highly recommend. If you've never seen it, it's great. You're at like 10 times throughout the movie, you're gonna go, oh, hey, that's that fuck from this movie. Like,
Mm.
it's so fun and it's very
Wait, you're talking about Love Actually or Taken?
Love Actually.
Okay, just checking.
Come on, keep up, Jordan.
No, Love Actually. Like Rowan Atkins is in it, and he has a fun little like. It's got I don't know. It's very fun. It's super cute. Um, the storyline with the kids is very pure too. Like there's a whole thing where they try to have all the kids at the school involved with the Christmas pageant,
Mm.
but there aren't enough roles. So there's like the Christmas lobster. So there's an entire like 5 minute conversation between Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman, who are married, talking about like whether or not there were lobsters at the birth of Jesus as she's making this lobster soup for her daughter. It's very cute. That's my big one.
Yeah, it's very cute the way it all comes together at the end too.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna.
Lear, you mentioned
go ahead.
the '60s Grinch. I like the '60s Grinch better than the Jim Carrey one, but I will happily watch both. I don't hate
Yep.
the Jim Carrey Grinch. I just think that it like
It creeped me out as a kid, but I can watch
He's
it now.
scary.
he's a
Yeah.
little scary, and like there are like parts of it that are just very annoying. But but it's also fun to watch and be like, you took this very seriously, and like good on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like he's so into it. I like it.
it's one of those things. Well,
It's
Jim
the
Carrey's
basis
also
of Eggman, of his Eggman performance.
I believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and Jim Carrey's like a little crazy, which like helps.
well. That's the
and
thing
hurts
is I
him.
put Jim Carrey in the same box that I put like Jake Gyllenhaal and like a couple other where he's a white man actor that's just like a little insane. Not bad
Mhm.
insane. Not I have a cult and I force them to call me Jesus like Jared Leto. Just like a little crazy.
Like
Um,
unhinged. Like you yourself have no fear, so you let yourself get unhinged. But like you wouldn't hurt anyone.
Yeah. His daughter is also cool as fuck. I highly recommend listening to her music if you're into like alt music. She's
I
cool
did
as
not know
fuck.
Jim Carrey's daughter was a musician.
Yep. She's also her and her girlfriend are adorable. I love them.
Well, I got a list of some other movies I'm just gonna kind of rapid fire because they're not
Ooh, I'm
ones that I
ready.
watch every year, but just kind of they're just in that rotation. Um, shout out, much like Home Alone, shout out to the Santa Claus 1 and 2.
Okay, can we
doesn't
talk about the
exist.
Santa Claus 1 and 2 really quick? Because those are
3
my
doesn't
other
exist.
big ones.
Yes.
I
are the fucking Santa
like
Claus
the
movies.
Santa Claus movies, but I feel like I haven't seen 2 and 3 in a very long time.
2
I
is
just
good.
keep
3 is
keep trying to like watch the trilogy
3 is
every
bad.
Christmas and only end up watching the first one.
Well, because
3 is
okay,
terrible.
3 is the one with Jack Frost that just
Yes, but Martin Short. I feel like I can't.
But he's
hate
not
Martin
funny.
Short.
That's the
No,
problem.
he's
He's
annoying.
not funny in it. He's just you just kind of want to hit him.
yep,
Gotcha.
Like
he's just over the top.
it's not even like. Okay, so you watched How I Met Your Mother. You know his character in How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
You know how over the top he is? That is Martin Short with no breaks for almost 2 hours. It's just insane with no breaks, and I would
Yep.
even say it's heightened because he's playing a fantasy character, and there's never a moment where that breaks. He's just like it the whole time.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And it's grating after a while.
But 2 is like that perfect sequel because it's like just adds that enough, like, I guess, lore, what you call it, in that universe.
Yeah.
Like, or it's still good. 3
Has
just
anyone
took it a
watched the
little too
Santa
far.
Clauses yet?
Not yet.
I'm afraid. A,
Yep.
I was crushed when I found out that Tim Allen was a terrible person. That's part number 1, and
We
I'm not
all
ready
were.
to face that yet. 2, I'm scared. I'm so scared. It's either gonna be good or it's gonna be bad, and it can go either way, and like I'm afraid. I've been watching the commercials and like because I get them for ads on Hulu all the time. I'm so scared.
Understood.
I will say I will probably watch this at least Santa Claus 1 and 2 this year just because I was listening to a Kind of Funny podcast a while back, and one of the
Yes.
episodes was Greg recalling that movie back just from memory after not seeing it for like over 20 years.
I started listening to just that podcast and then realized it was probably something I should watch when Greg was like, "No, Kevin, keep that wide lens for me. I'm gonna be moving around, using my space." And so I was like,
I was listening to it since I was at work.
and so I was like, I'll watch this when I get home. I'll get high, and this is what I'll watch before I go to bed. I watched it. I texted Jordan like halfway through. It was like, Greg will not sit down and is just constantly moving, and it's making me so anxious. Like, he's just looming behind Tim. Like, it's so...
But like,
It's great.
to have that kind of memory though, to have not seen a movie in over 20 years, like most of our lives.
I think it's because he watched it that much.
But I watched it like every year, and I still forgot the jailbreak.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
forget the
To be fair, I
jailbreak
think that's
scene.
the part where he got the most like lost.
Because it's out of nowhere.
Yeah. But it's just still,
Um.
to think of it, like, to think of a movie that I haven't seen since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And that I could recall it, like, almost, beat for beat, is just insane.
Yeah, I would argue a movie I haven't seen since I was 6 would be like Land Before Time, because
Exactly. Yeah.
and I could tell you that the beginning, the father dies.
I don't think
I
of a
exactly
movie that I
like-
know
And then
I
I
watched
don't-
a lot, but I haven't watched in a long time.
Well, I watched a lot because Land Before, this is one of Alec, are you a youngest, oldest only?
Oldest.
Okay,
Oldest of
you're
two.
both oldest. I'm the only youngest.
I'm familiar with The Land Before Time. I just never
So-
watched it
all the
that
time,
much.
yeah.
Well, I didn't like it, but my sister used to, because my sister's 5 years older than me, she used to use me watching kid content that she still liked but was too embarrassed to watch. So she
Yep.
would like force
Yep.
me to watch Land Before Time, and I didn't like it, but
Oh,
she
I-
wanted to watch it and
I
felt
always
too
do
old.
that. Anytime I was like babysitting cousins, and I'm like, I have to put on something kid appropriate, and I'm like, I don't know what these kids watch. Let's put on the fucking Rugrats movie when like Dill is born and Tommy tries to kill him in the
Oh,
woods.
yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, and so like it's one of those movies that I watched it a lot up until I was about 6 or 7, and then could not tell you. Only learned recently that there were like 6 of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
There's a shit ton of them.
It's wild.
But- It's quick going back to the watching a movie because of a sibling. And that's very relevant because it's a Christmas movie. My sister loves Christmas with the Cranks. That is one of her all-time favorite Christmas movies, and we watch it every year because that is just one of her favorites.
Yeah.
And
I've
honestly,
never seen.
it's
seen
not
that
that
one.
bad.
Yeah?
It's actually
It's not.
decent.
Who's in that
Yeah.
one again?
Tim Allen and
Okay.
Oh, I am blanking on the wife, his wife in the movie.
I can picture her and I can't think of her name. I'm gonna look it up because I
Yes,
hate.
thank you.
Because
I
you know
am
which
hate
one I
when
feel like
podcasts are like.
you know which one I feel like exists in the back of my like next to Christmas and the Cranks because they're both movies that I think came around within the same few years, but I never seen, but felt more at the time of just viewing commercials, more tailored towards adults. I've never seen Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito, and I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's Vince Vaughn. Is it Vince Vaughn?
Vince
Oh my
Vaughn
god,
was
it's
Fred
Jamie Lee
Clark.
Curtis. How could I forget?
Oh my gosh, yeah. See, I thought it was, but it was one of those like, oh, she had the longer hair that was kind of throwing me off.
I think that's the thing is in my brain now. She has very long hair in it. Like it's down to here, and I think
Yeah.
in my brain now she's had that short cut for so
Yes,
long that's what's
yes.
iconic. Um,
She
but
has a
yeah, it's
shortcut in
a
My
very
Girl,
young
Lee
Jamie Lee
Aaron.
Curtis. What?
She has a shortcut in My Girl.
I think I talked about this before, but I am obsessed with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who is
Like
it?
I am, she is just, and not like just she. I want to be her. She is so confident in herself
Mhm.
and so like, I don't know, like I just, I love her. Her and Michelle Yao. I'm like, I wish I could be like that confident and that sure in myself.
It was literally just she was just playing herself in Knives Out.
Yeah, and she's fantastic in it.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny, Jordan, too, is you were just talking about My Girl. Dan Aykroyd is also in Christmas with the Cranks, and isn't he also in My Girl?
Yes, I told you that the other night.
Yeah, they're
We
both in both these.
someday I will make a majority of Shared Screens watch that movie and us review it because I was fucked up as a kid and I don't get to talk about that a lot. And therapy is expensive, so we're gonna make a podcast.
You know what I didn't know until right now? That one of the cops in Christmas with the Cranks is Cheech Marin.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
I didn't. Oh, rough. Felicity Huffman is also in this movie.
Oh,
R.I.P.
Okay, I looked up Cheech Marin. I know him by face.
Yeah, it's Cheech and Chong.
I didn't know his last name.
Oh yeah.
But
Speaking,
yeah,
okay, you know what? That's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alec. Cheech and Chong. Me and my best friend every holiday season have a tradition where it used to be since he went to school in our hometown. It'd be whenever I came back from college, me and him would link up, get to quote the movie I'm about to mention. We would get Not Low, and we would sit down and watch a Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas. That movie is a
Nice.
fucking gem. I will hear no arguments towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the marketing or advertisement for that movie was some company that was making 3D TVs, so that's why it was a 3D Christmas. And obviously, nobody has fucking 3D TVs anymore because that was only around
It's
from
stupid.
like 2011 to like 2012, and even then,
We
I think there was like
realized
a 4-month
3D
window.
is dumb pretty quickly.
Yep.
I don't think it's that we realized 3D is dumb. I think we realized like 3D is not going to be something we can just put in the home.
Yeah.
Well, it's also even now with films, like a lot of directors are like and producers are like 3D's fucking nobody goes. Like
It's
nobody
weird
wants
which
to go see
movies
a
end
3D
up in
movie.
3D at point, but that's not.
It's what directors will agree to film with that camera. That's literally all that decides it. Because most directors, it's a no go. They will not film with
Gotcha.
a 3D camera, which I get. It makes your backgrounds and foregrounds look funky in the non 3D version.
Okay, because Black Widow I know had a weird shot at one point where the background looked really weird, and that movie I'm pretty sure had a 3D version of its release.
Uh,
Anyway, Harold and Kumar Christmas, 3D Christmas, like the 3D stuff is done so obnoxiously that if you were watching 3D, like they're just like, listen, this is just for the paycheck. But like the movie is very good. I think it is a legitimately good follow-up to that trilogy because the first two came out so close together and this one came out like 10 years later. I think they used that break to their advantage by like giving you that time jump in real time, and like the characters are not where you expect they are at the start, and it all comes full circle, and it's highly recommend. Also has a great Christmas numbers, great Christmas medley sung by Neil Patrick Harris. Also has an animated segment. Santa Claus is also canon in that world. Like, I don't know what else I need to do to sell this
Right.
movie to people. Also, the marijuana strains in that movie's names are fucking hilarious. You have Hanukkah Hash, I Wish You a Greeny Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Eyed Reindeer, Kwanzaa Kush. Like, just really fucking great weed names.
That's like kind of following that, I guess, theme of movie is The Night Before with Seth Rogen,
Yes.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Anthony
that one I
Mackie.
wanted to watch for years. And
It's
I
good.
finally at one
It's
point
good.
got my friend to watch it right after we watched Harold and Kumar. That one is also like legitimately good and fun.
Watched that in college when
What?
I watched that like when it came out in college because the year it came out. No, I guess I watched it the next year because the year after it came out, that Christmas season was when I hadn't started smoking weed yet when it first came out. But the next year, a lot of people don't know this about me. I love Seth Rogen. I'm like fucking obsessed with him. I think he's one of the coolest people alive. And it's absolutely because I like freaks and geeks, but like I love him. And so I just got in this thing after I started smoking weed where I just started watching all of his
But it's a great
films.
cast. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is great in that movie. Anthony Mackie's good in that movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
That scene where they dance on the piano. Come on.
Yeah.
Christmas in Hollis.
Sure.
I'm gonna throw out.
That song is featured constantly in that movie.
Oh,
It's been so
don't know
long since I've
names
seen
of
that
things.
movie, actually.
Yeah, it's the
And, like,
DMC
Jordan-
Christmas song.
haven't you learned yet? Alec and I don't know names of songs. You constantly are like, "Oh, it's this song," and Alec and I are like, "Okay."
It's one of those, like, I know songs, but, like, names... It's because
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking
Okay,
chicken
yeah,
and
see,
eggs.
I
It's the one
know
that they
that.
keep rapping, yeah.
Yeah.
What I do like about that movie is, I think it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Does Joseph Gordon-Levitt propose to his wife in that movie? In front of Miley Cyrus? At the big party? I think it's Joseph
Possibly.
I
Gordon-Levitt's
can't
scene.
remember if he's single in that because that whole thing is that he goes out on Christmas Eve because it's like the night his parents died and he tries to like drink away the
Well,
memories.
no, it's because I think it's kind of similar to like what you were saying. What reminded me of it is like, because they all were hanging out, all used to hang out as kids, but then like Seth, I think it's
The
Seth
other
Rogen
two
and-
got like girlfriends
They
and
have
wives and
wives.
like yeah.
and so like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's trying to get everybody back together for like kind of like another like night.
Yeah,
Like
because
the
Anthony
three of
Mackie's
them.
like a professional football player.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, he proposes to his ex-girlfriend because she's played by the chick from Mean Girls. She's played by Janice from Mean Girls.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he proposes to her and she says yes and then denies, like says no
Oh,
in
yeah,
private.
yeah.
And I was like, I appreciate this. This is what you should do. If somebody proposes to you in public, say yes in public, don't embarrass them. And like, I didn't really like her character. And then she did that. And I was like, no, you're a good person. A newer Christmas movie that I feel like really flew under the radar because of the prevalence of COVID was on the rise at the end of 2019. And we were all focused on other things. But Noelle, the
Yeah,
Disney
I watched
Plus
that last
original
year.
movie,
I watched
it's
half of it.
good.
I want to
Yeah.
finish it. Yeah.
It's cute. It's Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. It's very cute.
I
Like,
enjoyed it.
yeah, it's a very fun Christmas movie. Like, I don't know. It
Yeah,
was
that's
something
one I
that,
have
like,
on the
I
list.
feel like, yeah, and it's one of those things that I feel like if I put on for my nieces would like and find funny and think Andrew Kendrick is, like, pretty in the way they think princesses are pretty and all that crap.
Anna Kendrick
But
is
I
so
also,
pretty.
what?
Anna, if you're watching, what's up?
I think she's engaged. But it's just, but like for me, it's very cute because it's like also Shirley MacLaine is in it, which like my nieces don't know who the fuck Shirley MacLaine is, but I think it's funny. Like it's very fun. Billy Eichner is really funny in it because like
He's
they
like the
kind
techie
of
cousin, right?
yeah, and he's very, I don't know, it's a very good movie. I highly recommend if you're looking
Yeah.
for like, and it's not crazy long. It's like an hour and a half. Like it's a good movie. I wish more people watched it because like I really feel like it
Yeah.
flew under the radar.
Yeah, I didn't watch it like I said, that year it came out, but I remember watching it last year because I was just like at my apartment alone. It's like, you know what? I've heard good things about this. I'll throw it on, and yeah.
Yeah, no, it's adorable. Like, and Bill Hader is just a phenomenal actor, which I feel like we've all learned at this point. And like, it seems so stupid where the premise is that like he's Santa's son and he doesn't want to be Santa, so he runs off. But like the way he plays it with this nuance of why as actually like a really touching story, like
Plot,
it's
I feel
done
like
very well.
the plot is just very sorry, the emotional like motivations behind the plot are not actually related to Christmas, that the movie has a depth behind just being a Christmas movie.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good movie. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple other quick ones I have on my list because I did just look through some Christmas movies and just write a bunch down.
Fair.
Did you check the list twice?
Of course,
Fuck off.
always. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Turbo Man.
Never
Love
seen that
as a
one
kid.
either.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Because it had oh my gosh, another name I'm just forgetting at this time, but basically the other main star in it, Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sinbad.
Gotcha.
He was hilarious in it. Then the last one on my list that I have is Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. Just another one that's like I don't watch it every year, but it's like one of those like if I catch it, I happen to catch it on TV. It's like, oh yeah, it's a good time.
One that me and my family have like put on in the background a lot, but I don't think I've myself as like have sat down and like watched it from beginning to end. Unaccompanied Minors is a fun one.
I didn't know that was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the idea is like they all get stuck in the airport around like I think it's like Christmas Eve itself or like around Christmas time, something like that.
I've never seen it. I've just only ever heard of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
And I know we mentioned like Christmas specials before. The SpongeBob Christmas episode where like he tries to throw the first Christmas in Bikini Bottom. That one has always been like a must watch for me.
I don't remember that.
No,
bringing any
they have a
memories.
Christmas song. Oh my god, it's such a good episode. Santa's coming tonight. Santa's coming. You guys don't remember this?
Not ringing any bells.
Song, but like if you had asked me an hour ago what that was from, I would be like, I don't know. It's just like
Yeah,
a fucking
it's
random
from the
Christmas song.
SpongeBob Christmas episode. I also like the Drake and Josh
I will
Christmas
also
movie.
Put out there, it has probably been 10 years since last time. Like,
Fair.
yeah, I don't know.
But like that one I remember watching a lot. And then the Drake and Josh Christmas special that like they filmed like after the show ended. I've always liked that one as well.
Another, this is newer, but if any of you watch Abbott Elementary, the holiday special for Abbott Elementary is so
It's
goddamn
on my
cute.
list. That show's on my
It's-
list. I watched like the
it's
pilot
so-
episode or two when that
If-
came out.
If you have HBO Max, I highly recommend just watching it on HBO Max so you don't have to deal with commercials in the first season because it's all on there commercial free.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because she films on the WB lot, even though it airs on ABC. And outside of selling Abbott, she has like a 5-year exclusive deal with WB now. So it airs on Hulu and stays on Hulu and then gets moved to HBO and you can watch without commercials.
Oh, nice.
And then I've been watching the new season on Hulu because I don't have cable because nobody our age has cable. Like, who is fucking cable?
I take it from my parents because I have the Xfinity Stream app on my TV, so I can only watch certain channels, but I can still at least
That's
watch like
fair.
sporting events and stuff like that. So
Yeah. But I highly recommend it. Abbott Elementary is so good. It's such a good show.
a couple that I guess if we're kind of getting towards the end of our lists, a couple that I actually want to watch. I have the Guardians Holiday Special. Still need to watch.
Yeah, that is still on my to-do list.
And then there's the one I believe it's on Apple TV. It's Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. I've heard good things about that, so
Yeah.
those are both two that I want to watch this year.
One I want to throw out there is what Christmas movies are like on your guys' list? Because like there's always the joke of like, well, Die Hard's technically a Christmas movie because it takes place around Christmas. And for me, there's a few movies that are similar where it's like they either take place around Christmas or they have one scene that involves Christmas, and therefore for me they're Christmas movies. The one that I've heard as like the most consistent like Christmas movie are like the first two Harry Potters because there's like a 10-minute Christmas scene in each, and a lot of people have just been like, for some reason those are Christmas movies to me. Other ones for me that pop up were Shazam, which I mean it's kind of in the middle where like Christmas is part of it, but it is not a Christmas specific movie.
Yep.
And now new to the also got to shout out Iron Man 3
Yep.
as like a superhero Christmas movie. And then now to add this year, we have a Spider-Man No Way Home is technically a Christmassy movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Hawkeye.
That too. And
Yeah.
Hawkeye puts Christmas at the forefront almost as much as Shazam. Like those ones are actually like
Mm-hmm.
decently Christmas oriented, whereas like
That was
No Way Home is just like around there. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say when I was like looking through Christmas movies, there's a ton of movies like that. They have a scene or two, like around Christmas, but they had it categorized as Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm looking through. It's like that's not a Christmas movie. It's like you have a
Like-
they had Ted listed as a Christmas movie.
He gets him on a Christmas, and that's the only part of the movie that's
Exactly.
related.
It was still in like the comedy Christmas movies. I'm like, what?
Hey, everyone, grab the kids. We're gonna watch Ted on Christmas Eve.
Hey, my grandma wanted to go see Ted in theater because she thought it was just a story about a kid and his teddy bear.
Oh my gosh.
And my sister and I had to explain to her that that's not what it was. But also, years later, she is now dead, R.I.P. But we found out years later she smoked weed. So, like, maybe we should have let her go see Ted. Like,
I went to see
You know?
Ted at the drive-in with my best friend, and his dad took us. And Leon, it is who you're thinking of. And we were just sitting in the back of the car, and every once in a while we'd hear his dad go, like his dad was genuinely enjoying the movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think I have any, like, non-Christmassy
Right.
Christmas movies. The only thing I have that is, like, I guess not a common thing that we used to watch every year, I don't watch it anymore, but we had a recording of this trippy 1970s Mikhail Baryshnikov dancing the Nutcracker. And we used to watch that every year because my mom and I love ballet. It's so trippy. I have watched it since. I don't understand how it did not terrify me as a child, but that's like a big one that like isn't common. But
My
I
mom.
also
Oh, sorry. You have more.
I
to
also
say,
have a soft spot for the shitty ABC Family original Christmas movies, like Holiday Handcuffs with Mario Lopez, which is straight up just Mario Lopez gets kidnapped. Like, and it's like some Stockholm Syndrome shit for real. Because he gets kidnapped by Melissa Joan Hart. He is with a woman. When the movie starts, he has a girlfriend that he's like planning to propose to, has a girlfriend. And Melissa Joan Hart kidnaps him so that her parents won't keep bothering her about like not having a boyfriend. And like
Jesus
working at a diner.
Christ.
Yeah, and working at a diner because she wants to be an artist and a photographer and all this crap. And then so she kidnaps Mario Lopez.
And did she like put a gun to his head?
Yes. It's a little revolver that the owner of her diner has. That's not, she reveals eventually it was not loaded, but yes, she holds him up at gunpoint, forces him into her car, and uses a pair of fuzzy handcuffs that she got at the gas station to handcuff him to like that thing over the door.
Oh shit.
While they
handle.
drive up to this remote cabin that her parents have rented. And why I like it is because there's a scene at the dinner table where they all kind of get in a fight, and the brother, who's the middle child, is like trying to stop the fight, and then just in the middle goes, "I'm gay," and it's so goddamn funny, and it's so funny. I watched it as a child and like a preteen and was like, oh, this is cute, whatever. Because at the end, Mario Lopez decides that he actually is in love with Melissa Joan Hart and doesn't press charges and breaks up with his rich girlfriend and like marries her, and like it's a whole thing. I'm not even kidding. They get arrested at one point, like, and are in prison, her entire family. Like, it's insane. But I watched it as an adult. I was like, this is dumb as fuck, but this is so 2000s Christmas rom-com.
It just
like,
feels like she could have like been like, listen, I'll give you $100 if you go do this with my family because I can't afford. Like, why did she have to kidnap him?
I think because honestly, I don't know. I have no answer, but it's literally called Holidays in Handcuffs. Like,
Speaking of another Christmas movie that had a scene in a jail that made me go, no. A movie I was really excited for, actually. The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. I really thought that was going to be good. I turned it on. I was like, this is kind of rough. I got to a scene where he is singing in a jailhouse and went, this is not for me.
yeah. Oh, fucking Klaus on Netflix.
Yes,
the
I heard
animated
that one
one.
is very
Yeah.
good.
It's cute as fuck. If you've never watched it, it's the cutest animation. Like, it's such a fun movie, and it's like artsy and weird, and they pull on a lot of the like original German traditions behind Santa that are like super fun. They don't pull on Krampus, which I appreciate because that's a a weird part of the German culture that like I would like to ignore.
Mhm.
Me and you have watched Krampus.
Yes, because it is Victoria Lyman, friend of the show's favorite Christmas movie because she
Oh.
loves Adam Scott. She watches it every year. She owns it on DVD.
Yeah,
That is her like favorite Christmas movie, and like she knows it's bad. Victoria's not like, oh, it's a
it's a high
phenomenal
quality.
movie.
It is cinema.
Yeah, it's not that, but oof, it's a good time.
When I was really young, my mom had a like Mickey Mouse Christmas sing along.
Trying
You got so high in your octave you got cut off. Do you want to repeat that?
they're called like Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, and they're like sing-alongs, and they're the cutest shit. We had all of them. It's
I'll tell you the memory and like then the gift I gave my mom last year where I remember watching it as a kid and there is a song that Donald's nephews sing where they're writing a letter to Santa and they want like all like the typical boy stuff, like a bunch of bikes and CDs and whatnot. And then they ask Santa like please no sweaters because they're itchy and they make us sneeze or something like that. And my mom said like when I was a kid, I used to love that part. Like it used to crack me up for some reason. And when they said sneeze, I'd fake a sneeze. And so we would just quote it as I got older, but we were never able to find the video of it anywhere. And like we still have a shit ton of VHSs in our basement. And so last year I went on Reddit, and if you guys ever need to like find something niche, Reddit/r/TOMT, tip of my tongue. You describe what you're looking for and like what you remember and stuff, and people will find it. And someone found it on YouTube. And last year on Christmas Eve, like we had got back from my grandma and my uncle's house, and we were kind of just like chilling in the living room before going to bed. And I said, "Mom, hold on, I have to show you something." And I pulled it up on the TV for her with just no other explanation. And like that one was very sweet. Yeah, to find that. The other one I watched when I was like really really young, and like we're talking now like literally preschool level, was like for some reason me and my sister really used to like the Barney Christmas episode when we were like very young. I don't know what about it. It's just like it had Christmas songs. We were like toddlers. We thought it vibed. At one point, they shout out the name Jordan, and I was like, "Yo, I vibe with this. Fuck with this."
Jordan's gonna make fun of this movie title, but it's the cutest fucking. It's one of the very cute. Like Disney had a lot of direct-to-video Christmas movies that were like the cutest shit on the planet.
How bad?
And one of them was called Winnie the Pooh: A Very Merry Pooh Year. Yep. Get it out.
Sorry, I'm good.
All right. In other countries, it's called Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2, which I think is a better name, but whatever.
Yep.
But it's just a really adorable, like, all the little animals in 100 Acre Woods celebrating Christmas, and it's cute as fuck. Cool. Like, Jordan just awakened, like, this whole part of my brain of, like the Blue's Clues Christmas special, where Blue celebrates Christmas, Magenta celebrates Hanukkah, and you find out that Periwinkle the cat belongs to a very large black man who celebrates Kwanzaa. It's how I learned what Kwanzaa was, and I've watched it since. It's very respectful. Like
actually, a lot of shows growing up used to do that, where it would be like the Christmas episode, but there would be one character that celebrated Hanukkah and one character that celebrated Kwanzaa. Like, unironically, I remember the Arthur show, like the episode of Arthur doing that as a kid, and like multiple others that I'm probably not even thinking of.
I feel like did it.
No, Rugrats had two. Oh yeah, Rugrats must have done all three. You're right. I forgot about Susie, but yeah, Rugrats had like Hanukkah episodes because like Tommy's mom's side was Jewish.
I thought it was Chucky.
I thought it was Chucky was Jewish.
No, it's his other grandparents. Chucky might also be Jewish, but Tommy's mom's parents are Jewish.
It's been a long time. It's vague.
Tommy plays.
Oh my god, there's
Moses.
an entire page on Wikipedia called Judaism in the Rugrats. I'm not joking. This is a real Wikipedia page.
Listen,
guys.
On Only's their Hanukkah episodes, there is a Passover episode where Tommy plays Moses and parts the Red Sea.
Yeah, I'm reading that some big Jewish communities did not appreciate that.
Really? Okay, did not know that. I listen. We watched these as children. We thought they were trying to be respectful and educate us. We do not know if they are problematic in this day and age.
I'm reading that some of them were appreciated. In Rugrats, the root of Judaism themes stem from Boris and Mikna Kropotkin,
yes,
the Russian Jew and maternal grandparents of Tommy Pickles. Boris and Minka are traditional Ashkenazi Jewish, and speak heavy Yiddish accents. Tommy and Pickle
I know my Rugrats lore.
And the Pickles family therefore partake in various Jewish activities throughout the series, particularly the holidays. While Boris and Minka appear to practice their faith regularly, the Pickles are rarely shown to participate in religious activities outside the major holidays. So there's an episode that came out in 1995 that's a Rugrats Passover. Yikes. Where Tommy plays Moses and Angelica is the Pharaoh that kicks all the Jews out of Egypt.
That sounds vaguely familiar now.
As he says the phrase, "Let my babies go."
Good lord.
Sorry for laughing.
And then a Rugrats Hanukkah came out in 1996, where the characters tell the story of the Maccabean revolt. They're told that by his grandfather Boris, and imagine themselves as biblical characters, with Tommy seeing himself as Judas Maccabeus and the others play nameless Jewish characters. The reference to the song "I Have a Little Dreidel" is made with Chucky telling a Greek guard baby that the two are just playing with their dreidels, to which Tommy adds that they're made out of clay. And Tommy's famous line, "A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do," is modified to "A Maccabee baby's gotta do what a Maccabee baby's gotta do," as it referred to the Maccabees. And then in a Rugrats movie, I mean, I knew that the director talked about that him almost killing his little brother is a direct reference to the sacrifice of Isaac, which is the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my life. I didn't know that until I was an adult and I was watching something with him, and he was like, "Yeah, no, it is a direct."
It makes, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
The Rugrats movie also has a joke about circumcision in the song
that I knew.
Yeah, and the song the baby sing in the nursery. One of them says, "They cut my cord," and one looks into his diaper and goes, "You won't believe what they did to mine."
And then they reference that in All Grown Up, Tommy, now 11 years old, appears apathetic towards his Jewish heritage, arguing with his mother over being made to attend Hebrew school and having no interest to go until he develops a crush on his female classmate named Rachel. Of course. Wow. Is the guy, I'm not shaming him if he is, I just don't know. Is he Jewish?
Assuming.
The guy who created it, like one of them. That's a woman.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, a woman could be Jewish too, but sorry.
Well, the more you know.
Armin Klasky and Gabor Cuspo. And Paul Gierman.
Yeah, Paul Germain, it doesn't say. Because he left after the second season to go create Recess, which, thank you, sir.
Yes, one of them.
Good choice.
Yes, okay.
Gabor.
Okay, so they're business partners, and they're a couple. The wife is Polish Jewish and Russian Jewish, and then her husband
is Hungarian American and Jewish.
So the answer is yes.
Yes, so the creators were Jewish. That makes sense. Again, I'm not shaming them. It's just
Right.
I was thinking, like, if that's a lot to be putting in, so either they're doing really, really good research or they're talking about their own culture.
It always stood out to me because, like, Tommy's maternal grandparents, the ones that have the very heavy accents, for some reason, I think it was because they lived far away from Tommy. They reminded me of my dad's parents, because they also kind of look like, if I pulled up a picture of Tommy's grandma and my grandma, it looks like someone drew a caricature. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to out my grandma like that. Rest in peace,
I know.
Grandma. But, like, legitimately, they looked like each other, and they lived far away the way my dad's parents lived far away from me. So, like, yeah. The Fairly Odd Parents Christmas episode as well, where Timmy wishes it was Christmas every day.
For every day to be Christmas.
Yeah.
I unfortunately still know, to this day, every line in that song that he sings, "I wish every day could be Christmas."
I have it on my Christmas playlist.
I don't. I haven't listened to it since then, but for some reason, the deep recesses of my brain have held on to it.
And Timmy still can't get a girlfriend. Stop that.
It gets stuck in my head, like, at random times. It's the most annoying shit on the planet, but yeah. I loved Fairly Odd Parents as a kid, so it really doesn't surprise me.
On an adult side of animation, Family Guy has some pretty good Christmas episodes that I've always found funny. There's also a Christmas song I have on my Christmas playlist that they sing in one of the specials from a few years ago.
Bob's Burgers Christmas episodes are also very funny. There's one where a store is closing down, and so they're selling everything off. and some like person they like take in. It's somebody that's been in episodes prior, but they like take him in for Christmas, the Belchers. He gives Louise stuff from the store because he's been living in it, and one of them is one of those things that takes off security tags on clothing. And like the Belchers aren't well off, and so Louise opens it, realizes what it is, he goes, yeah. And
You
it's
cut
so
off. What did
funny.
she say?
Next Christmas is on me. And just is like she's in this pile of wrapping paper. It's so fun. Oh, I love Bob's Burgers. But yeah.
What else? I personally like. I just genuinely love Christmas. My family goes all out with it, and I love watching Christmas stuff to get me in the mood. Is there anything else that like we've missed or forgotten, or like you guys remember?
I mean, I've written down or talked about just about everything I can remember. So, and we are coming up on an hour, so it's probably a good place to stop if we can't think of anything.
Whoever's watching this, have a happy holiday, regardless of what you celebrate, and Merry Christmas to all. To all, a good night. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.
And let us know your favorite Christmas movie too.
Absolutely.